The company that we're going to talk about today is a company called OfferBeam. They are a local company out of Massachusetts, just launched within the last year. I think we've all heard the term geofencing. Well, what OfferBeam's vision is to bring the digital age of advanced mobile shopping to the next level. Joining us right now from OfferBeam is Stephanie Kline. Stephanie, welcome in this morning.
Good morning, how are you?
One of the things that I'm guessing you're challenged with is, if I looked at your consumer model, it's probably very much a marketing awareness, social media, digital media push. But my guess is your merchant model is more of a feet on the street game. Is that correct?
I wouldn't say that. I think that merchants are struggling. They're trying to find, it's going to be a saving money thing for the merchants. It's going to save them marketing funds, actually. Merchants are out there already trying to figure out how it is that they are going to bring the consumer in. So they're already spending funds on that. This is actually going to alleviate maybe some of the costs for them in going out and trying to do a mass marketing and not getting the feedback, not getting those people necessarily in the door. So those could be wasted marketing dollars that this won't be wasted marketing dollars when they're walking through the door, specific because they've arrived at that location.
And that's the benefit.
For the merchant, it's a win.
That's the win for the merchant, but how does the merchant find OfferBeam? How does the merchant get to know that OfferBeam exists and that this is an offer for them? A, and B, as you look there, and you're a startup, how do you, and we hear this all the time from startups, how do you deal with that battle of, well, the consumers aren't there yet because they don't have the offers aren't there yet because they don't have the consumers? How do you manage that when you're having a conversation with a merchant and signing them up? You've been out to merchants so far. How do you address that issue when it comes up?
Well, initially, when the merchant signs up with OfferBeam, there is going to be a level of them going out to their current consumer and sharing with the people that are currently already with them to download the application. At that point, it's kind of going to be a consumer spread, that whenever one consumer realizes that they like the application, they enjoy using the application, they can have the offer of sharing that with their friends. It can go onto Twitter. It can become an additional part of social media as we know it today.
So on CEO Corner, one of our favorite phrases is, the customer of my customer is my customer. And in essence, it seems like you're actually taking that to the nth degree here. And I love the model because we often preach this a bit. But what you're saying, if I understand you correctly, is if I sign up the merchant, then the merchant's customer becomes my customer because I have the merchant on board. So it's a push and then a pull in terms of gaining consumers. So my number one challenge is get my array of merchants out there, then work the merchants to get their consumers. Then that consumer pull gets me more merchants, and all of a sudden this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Is that right?
Absolutely. It's going to catch on and spread.
This story. First of all, they attacked the two-sided revenue model in an interesting way, because basically their whole strategy, and you talk about this a lot, that again, the customer, my customer is my customer. I love the phrase, because if you start to think of it that way, in essence what they're saying is, if I get the merchant, I'll get the consumer. Mm-hmm. Because it's the merchant's customer I want. And all I need to do is offer something to the merchant that they don't currently have. And then in essence, think about what they're really saying. If I sign the merchant up by doing this, and then they promote to their consumer, in doing so, I'm going to get their consumers my customer. So now all of a sudden, if I ever were to sign up Starbucks in this model, and Starbucks pushed this in every store, and all of a sudden all Starbucks customers became OfferBeam customers?
Yeah, but here's
here's
my question. Like any business, you're asking the merchant to be your middleman. So the merchant really needs to buy into this, because they need to offer incentives, because there's going to be other competitors out there. They're going to offer better things. They're going to make it more convenient, easier, give better deals to my customers. And ultimately, I need to offer the best deals to my customers. So for Starbucks to push it, I need to give them a reason to push it.
Yes, that's exactly right. And you need to convince them that in the world that we live in today, in this open world, in this sort of next generation of consumer marketplace, and this is the trick here, can you convince them that sharing of data, not sharing, but allowing you to piggyback off of them, allowing their customer to become your customer, is not a bad thing? That's the challenge.
Because it's so guarded. People are so guarded.
Well, and think about it. Starbucks
buy
would
my
say,
list. I'm not giving it to you.
My database is my life. I mean, how many times have we heard that?
Right.
And now what you're saying, but this isn't unique to OfferBeam, but it's fascinating because it's strategy. And you see it a lot where companies, look at Facebook. Facebook said to basically, I'm getting the college, and the college will become my customer. So if I can lock in a college by getting the people who are the most attractive, I'll be able to get the rest of that consumer. They'll become my customer. There's a lot of companies that have done this. Back in the day, the big trade show companies used to say, look, I'm watching this trade show. I will give you free passes to bring people to the show. It's a value to you. In theory, the vendor was saying, wow, isn't that nice that they're giving this value? Some of the major shows where 70% of their audience was coming from the vendors who they signed up. So they're signing up the vendor based on how many people they're going to have, and then they're leveraging that vendor to bring the people there. This is that in a digital world. From a business strategy, business model point of view, it's fascinating to think about if these people are successful in pulling this off. It's a great way to grow a business. It's something for a lot of us to think about as we're sitting there in our business.